Happy New Year's, everyone. Today is the first day of 2026. I'm Jimmy Bird, and I'm going to get out and do some hiking today on this first day of the year. It's a beautiful day in the 50s. You can see behind me the blue skies. And today I'm at Land Between the Lakes. And I'm going to go and take one of the trails. It's a trail a little far away from everything. It's down on the Tennessee side, but it's way out. It's on the Fort Henry trail system. And this particular trail is going to be about, I don't know, around 5 miles altogether, I think, is what it's going to take to do the whole loop. It's a loop called the Picket Trail, and it's a trail that was part of the Civil War trails from back in the day as soldiers were moving along from Fort Henry and making their way over to Fort Donelson. So you see on the map here, there's the Picket Loop Trail. That's the one I plan on doing. I think the trail itself is a little over 2 miles, but then with the connectors and all, it comes out to close to 5 miles. So I'll start right here where that is. I'm gonna follow the red line and go all the way up, head down this way, come up and around, be over here by the Boswell campground, and then come back down and come back out, back to here. So no, I would try to do this back in the summer, and it was very grown up back then. A lot of trees were down, and they'd had some major storms come through here, tornado close by, so there were a lot of trees down. The trails were pretty rough then, very overgrown. So I'm curious to see how it looks today here in the wintertime. Should be easier to navigate, so I'm going to get out here and try them. Let's see what happens. So according to this map right here, you can see where this is where I am. Right here at the end of a gravel road, and then I'm fixing to go and hop on the trail here, a little connector trail that takes me over to the Picket Trail. But this is the area of Fort Henry. Now the thing about Fort Henry is that it's no longer a fort that you can get to anymore because it's underwater. It is under Kentucky Lake. Part of the problem with the fort back during the Civil War is that it was built on very low land and it kept flooding a lot. Okay, well, this looks like the beginning of the trail right here, at least the connector part of it, number one. And then it's going to take me, I think, about 7/10 of a mile to get through here, and then I should connect up with the Picket Trail. And already I can tell, when I was here before, a few months ago back during the summer, there were a lot of logs over the trail, because the trees had blown down in every direction, and you can tell here where they've come through and cleaned up some of this, so that's really good. It was really impassable at that time, and it looks like they kind of cleaned it up and maybe even widened the trail a little bit. But you look up here, look at how many trees had been down. Wow, it's a bunch. So yeah, the trail's in much better condition now. Yeah, this trail is a whole lot better. I didn't even make it this far back during the summer because it was so bad with all of the trees down. You couldn't even hardly see where the trail was. So this is a huge improvement. Got all kinds of animal tracks out here too, right here in the mud. You can see several. All right, approaching the road up here. Let's see. Oh, looks like I go straight across. I think this is the road that takes you down to the Boswell campground, which will be that direction right there. The campground is right there on the lake. Yep, this is it. And again, cleared out really well. Wow, a lot of improvement here. I'm taking a little detour here on the trail. Just to my right here, going down this path, is a sign that said a Confederate cemetery. So let's go over here and check it out and see what we can find. Civil War Cemetery. Let's see. Come over here. Michael Lee, private. And let's see, passed away in 1862. Over here, unknown, 1862. James Calichan, private, Confederate States Army, passed away in 1862. Someone left a really nice knife there. The 3rd Kentucky dedicates this memorial in honor of the 5 men who lie here having given their lives fighting for what they believed in on this 12th day of February in the last year of our Lord 2000, February the 6th, 1862. Over here, Edward McCabe. Then John Douglas. So this cemetery is for these 5 soldiers who died at Fort Henry, February the 6th, 1862. As I said earlier, the soldiers, the Confederates, would have marched from Fort Henry through this direction. These are called the Fort Henry Trails, and they would have gone over to Fort Donelson, those that survived the battle there, to go over to Fort Donelson to help reinforce it and secure it. But then later on, Fort Donelson fell as well when Ulysses S. Grant showed up later on. My great uncle on my mother's side was in the 26th Tennessee Confederate Infantry, and he was at Fort Donelson and was captured there and sent up to a prison camp in Illinois, and eventually he come back. They did a prisoner exchange, and he came back and served again in the 26th Tennessee. So a neat little cemetery right here in Land Between the Lakes. There's many cemeteries in Land Between the Lakes, and when they came in and took over the land to make it Land Between the Lakes and flooded out parts of it, there was a lot of homes that were lost, had to be relocated, and some there just, we might even see some foundations of homes today on this hike. And then also there are many graves. There were also some of the cemeteries were relocated, some of them weren't. They have a lot of cemeteries here in Land Between the Lakes scattered all around, but this one up here is on this little hill just right off the trail that we're on, the Picket Trail. So pretty neat little stop here. All right, let's keep going. As long as I keep following the blue markers, I'll be okay. That's how this trail is marked, with blue markers. And so I'm going to go up this gravel road, and I think I veer off to the left to get back on trail through the woods, but also have my handy dandy All Trails app as well, and so I can follow it and it'll keep me on track. All right, looks like we're about to veer off to the left off this gravel road. If you keep going straight on the gravel road, it takes you down to the little road that I took to get over to park at the trailhead. So I'm kind of been going parallel to it for a little bit, but now it's like we're going to veer off to the left, follow the markers here, and take off back into the woods. The trail is pretty covered over here with leaves, but I can still see where it is. And as long as I'll keep finding the little blue markers and follow along on my All Trails app, it should be okay. I downloaded the map on there before I got out here, so it'll keep me on track if I start to veer off. But you can kind of tell where the trail is. It's just a little depressed through here, but it is completely covered with leaves. It opened up really big up in this area. Got out of the woods, got back on like a little, I think it may be like an old service road or something, but looks like we keep going straight ahead here. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like I see some blue paint. That's the marker. Over here through the trees, you can see a body of water. This is called Panther Bay, and this is off of Kentucky Lake. And I just missed filming a couple of bald eagles flying off. They were over there on a branch, on a tree over there near Panther Bay, and I guess they heard me coming and they took off, and I missed getting them. Look at this big tree that's fallen down. It's huge. Let's go over and look at the roots. Wow. This is how I'm able to tell I'm still on the trail. They sawed through the tree right there to give you a path to go on. And as you can tell, it is very hard to see the trail, except for the fact that it's got the indentation here in the ground. This may have been an old creek bed or something, but I haven't seen a blue marker in forever. But I've been using my All Trails app and to make sure I'm still on track, and I am. Pretty soon we'll be up on Kentucky Lake, and we'll be able to get a chance to get a good view of it. Looking around up here on top of this little bluff, I'm wondering if there didn't used to be a home or a structure up here at some time. All of a sudden I found all these stones here, but then also come across this well. So obviously somebody was up here at some time. So it makes me wonder, there may have been a home here many years ago. Maybe it got moved. I don't know. But here's the well. It doesn't go deep. Looks like it's been filled in quite a bit while I'm in there. But pretty interesting. Well, I made it here to the edge here, Kentucky Lake. There's a little inlet. Nice little view. People have been out fishing on the boats out on the lake. Little beach right here. But really pretty. All right, so far I've walked right about 3 miles total, and still got a ways to go. I think I'm a little over halfway around the Picket Loop Trail, and so I'm going to keep going around this way, this direction. It'll take me back to where I started, but I want to give you another look here. It's very nice. Just a perfect day to be out here hiking. Really enjoyed being out here on this first day of the year, getting in a hike. Last year I hiked just a little over 100 miles, which I guess not too bad. It's not like I've got tons of time to hike. I try to do it on my days off, usually on Fridays or Saturdays. But got out and hit several trails in different areas, and Land Between the Lakes is one of those I hit quite often because it's fairly close to where I live. And I did a lot of the trails up on the northern part of it, but the southern part, this is my first trail. So I'm hoping to knock out all of the Fort Henry trails throughout this year. Looks like over here is it part of a chimney? Let's see. Yeah, I believe so. Part of a chimney right here. I don't know what that is over there. That may be a marker right there for the water, but evidently must have been a home right here, right along the shore. You never know when you come out through here what you're going to find, because there used to be homes scattered around here, neighborhoods. It's pretty fascinating what you'll find out here on the trails that Land Between the Lakes. really dry down there. That's where the water comes up when you get a lot of rain. Get some flooding, that water will come all the way up through there. Right now the water's pretty low. All right, this right here, this becomes the connector that goes to the Boswell Landing campground in that area. You go straight through there. That way it's a shortcut for folks that are camping, that they can take that connector and come up here and catch the Picket Loop Trail. I'm going to keep going straight, and not too far up, I'll be finding my connector trail that'll take me back to the trailhead where I'm parked. It's a pretty wet, muddy stretch right through here. So I'm trying to get over off the path to avoid all that, so we get my feet soaked. Definitely not dry up here on this part. There we go, made it through. All right, and here we go. There's not a sign to tell you, but this is the path that takes me back. This is the connector. So far, I have hiked about 5 miles. And so I've also taken a bunch of side trails and things like that. So it's made it add up some, and gotten off the path a few times there. But all right, so this is the final stretch. Head down this way. A lot of it is going to be downhill, and that's going to be nice. It's a great way to end a hike, going downhill. And I'll be back at the truck before I know it. Here I am back at the road again that goes over to the Boswell Landing. Crossing over it. And back on the trail. Not too much further now. All right. Right here at the end of the trail. Looks like we made it. Sun's starting to set. Yeah, it's a really good hike. I enjoyed that today. Felt good to get out on this first day of the year. Be able to get out and enjoy some great weather. And get in a good hike. Got a little over 5 miles of hike in total. So not too bad for the first day of the year. For January the 1st, beautiful, perfect weather. So thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it inspires you to get out and find you a hiking trail and take off and just get out in nature, clear your head, and just have a good time. Happy New Year. God bless you. Goodbye. If you remember at the beginning of the video, I mentioned about Fort Henry being completely underwater. Well, I walked a little ways off the beaten path, and I'm over here now at the edge of the lake. This is Kentucky Lake, and right out in front of me, underwater, is where Fort Henry is, or well, what's left of it. Probably not much left of it now after all these years, but right out there is where it's underwater. There's a little marker out there. It's really hard to see on here, I'm sure, but it lets you know that it's right out there in that area. It's a beautiful spot out here. The sun is setting. It's very calm, very peaceful. Just a very beautiful January the 1st, 2026. Thanks again for coming along on this hike today, and hope to see you again on some future hikes. I plan on doing a whole bunch of them this year. Got over 100 miles of hiking last year. This year, maybe I'll get 200 miles of hiking. We'll see. But take care.